disappointed that I wasn't Snow White. When I told them I'm going to shoot Snow White for the month, like she was convinced that I'm going to play Snow White. But when I told her, no, it's the evil queen. We can't reach the place where we're going to stop talking about female, men, women empowerment, feminism and all that before we work on both, female and male.
You have to see what's going down with this new woke Snow White reboot, because things are seriously heating up between Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. Zegler, who's playing Snow White, and Gadot, starring as the evil queen, are reportedly clashing behind the scenes, and not just over creative choices. Tensions are rising over their very public stances on wokeness and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And let's just say, Gal Gadot isn't holding back. Snow White isn't all about being woke and girl power, but also a movie that should be enjoyed by all genders, bringing back the nostalgia of the iconic fairy tale. She allegedly called out her co-star Rachel Zegler, who was rumored to have taken a jab at her by dragging her into the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
And then tell us about playing opposite, Gal Gadot. What do you think about her take as the evil queen?
She's terrifying. She's terrifying. It's going to shock audiences how she can really tap into that evil queen.
Tension between Zegler and Gadot has completely overshadowed the reboot's promotional push, adding yet another layer of drama to an already rocky production. So, what's going on between these two lead actresses? And how did Gal Gadot put Rachel in her place after her woke ideas made her uncomfortable? Can't wait. So let's get into it. Disney was all hyped up about the live-action Snow White remake. And on paper, sure, it probably sounded like a great idea. But when it came time to actually recreate that classic, romantic fairy tale vibe, they totally fumbled it. The new version, which cost over $300 million, made headlines, but not the kind Disney was hoping for. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything, but for those who aren't up to speed, let me break it down real quick. The original story was from the 1930s. It carried outdated ideas about women, and then came the debate over whether to even include the seven dwarfs. And from there, finally, the movie got caught up in a big argument in the US about race. Disney dropped the trailer for Snow White, and it quickly racked up massive views. But despite all that attention, it's become one of the most disliked videos of the year. Things only got worse when lead actress Rachel Zegler openly said she hated the original 1937 film, calling the story weird. She criticized the part where Prince Charming kisses Snow White while she's in a coma, pointing out that she couldn't even give her consent.
Scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. I'm being so serious. I watched it once.
After she made those comments, fans were already skeptical of her and Disney's intentions with the movie. But that wasn't the only thing that sparked controversy. What happened next created an even bigger controversy, ignoring the fact. The casting choices also sparked major backlash. Critics questioned casting a Latina actress as Snow White, a character traditionally portrayed as fair-skinned, while others took issue with casting an Israeli actress amid the ongoing Middle Eastern conflict. Then, just last week, things escalated when the two lead stars clashed over Middle Eastern politics and the woke culture surrounding the film. Rachel Zegler is vocal about supporting Palestinian rights, while Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, is a well-known Israeli actress. It's no surprise their views on the Gaza conflict sharply differ. For those unaware, Rachel Zegler shared on social media in May that she's been openly supporting Palestine since 2021. Also, back in January, she shared a post on Instagram, urging people to push their leaders to support a ceasefire in Gaza, where over 40,000 people had been killed. On the other hand, Gal Gadot, known for playing Wonder Woman, criticized the international community in December for not speaking out against Hamas's attack, during which over 1,100 Israelis were killed. Back to the movie. Earlier this month, Gadot shared the Snow White trailer along with a behind-the-scenes video from a photo shoot with Zegler. Reactions on Instagram were mixed. Some fans praised Gadot, flooding the comments with Israeli flag emojis, while others responded with Free Palestine messages and Palestinian flags. But what Zegler did next shocked everyone and added even more fuel to the fire. She posted on Twitter, thanking fans for the trailer's 120 million views, and then wrote in a follow-up comment, "And always remember, Free Palestine." Her second post quickly went viral, sparking accusations in the comments that she was throwing shade at her co-star and taking a jab at Gadot. While Gadot didn't publicly respond to Zegler's comment, she raised eyebrows with a post of her own shortly after the trailer's release. On her Instagram story, she shared a photo of Martin Luther King Jr., accompanied by one of his famous quotes. "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Only love can save the world. A few days later, Gadot seemed to take a pointed jab at Zegler. According to Times of Israel reporter Amy Spiro, Gadot's X account briefly reshared a tweet that read, "Trying to campaign on the head of your co-star, who actually lives through war, just so you'll look cooler with the kids, is really pathetic." Many people reacted by saying, Rachel Zegler shouldn't have brought politics into promoting the movie. She was trying to support Gal Gadot, who some didn't want in Snow White. It's obvious the team behind Snow White wanted to steer clear of Middle East controversies, but they couldn't escape it, no matter how little impact it might actually have. If the US government can't fix things in the Middle East, I don't see how Gal Gadot's or Rachel Zegler's careers will make a difference, said Klein. One thing that might happen is that celebrities might stop sharing their opinions publicly. If I were their PR person, that's what I would suggest. Now, let's dive into Rachel's vision for this classic movie. Originally slated for release in March 2024, the film was delayed after executives had to hold crisis talks to address the backlash sparked by Rachel Zegler's woke comments. The movie also faced criticism when it was revealed that the 7 dwarfs would be replaced by 7 magical non-dwarf creatures to make the story more politically correct. These new characters were a diverse mix of men and women from different ethnic backgrounds, only one of whom was an actual dwarf. Initially, Disney denied these characters were part of the film, but later admitted the change. After public complaints, Disney decided to use CGI to create characters that resembled the dwarfs from the original movie. Now, people are questioning why Disney didn't just cast real dwarfs instead of relying on CGI, and some are even wondering if Zegler influenced that decision. Zegler, who promised to make the remake more progressive than the original, also faced backlash when old videos from 2022 surfaced, showing her speaking negatively about the original film. Speaking about her character, Zegler said,
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Some fans labeled Rachel Zegler a fake feminist and accused her of gaslighting, while marketing expert Carla Spate warned Disney to tread carefully with how they portray Snow White. Spate explained that, although Disney aimed to move away from outdated values, they swung too far in the opposite direction, trying to push a strong message they believe is empowering. She noted that Disney actors used to be cautious with their words, focusing mainly on promoting the film. But with this new Snow White reboot, the boss girl image seems to have gone to the actors' heads. Spate cautioned that Disney needs to be more careful about what their actors say during promotions to avoid repeating past mistakes. And speaking of repeating mistakes, Rachel did it again. In another interview, Rachel Zegler discussed how the new Snow White differs. She said, "People joke about our movie being too politically correct, and it is, because it needed to be." She explained that their version tells a fresh story about a young woman who does more than just wait for a prince. The original 1937 Disney movie shows Snow White befriending the 7 dwarfs while hiding from her evil stepmother. The stepmother poisons her with an apple, and Prince Charming wakes her with a kiss. This classic tale, based on a Brothers Grimm fairy tale, was a huge success. The new Snow White movie is set to release in March 2025, and many are eager to see Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot star in it. What do you think about the disagreement between the two actresses? And how do you feel about the new Snow White movie? Share your thoughts in the comments. That's it for this video. See you in the next one.